Thank you for that insightful sharing, Dr. Margat. We certainly look forward to going beyond with MDIS in the new normal. Next up, we are joined by the School of Fashion and Design and Jewellery Design and Management International School.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to MDIS e-Open House today. My name is Bernie. I'm the head of School of Fashion and Design. And today, very happy to have you in this wonderful morning. And we have our student, alumni, and the Jewelry Design Department head to share about our school information. So maybe that they introduce themselves. Alex?
Thank you, Bernie. My name is Alex. I am in charge of the JDMIS, which is a joint venture with MDIS, specializing in jewelry. I also teach some of the digital design and marketing courses. So I'm excited to be here with MDIS and JDMIS students and graduates to help them share a little bit more about this exciting industry.
Hi, I'm Angel. I'm from Indonesia. I'm now an active student in a diploma in fashion design.
Hi, I'm Alex Wong. I'm a graduate from JDMIS.
I'm Yipao Ling. I am graduate 2020 and I am the graphic designer now.
Oh, amazing. All right. So this is our family, because as a fashion school, we have two different studies. We have fashion design and jewelry design as well. So you must have a lot of curious what the fashion school, what the student doing, and how does the lifestyle like. So today we actually invite our student from our higher diploma in fashion design to share about her life story and some experience with everyone, how it helps you, and join us. Yeah. So Angel, can I ask you a question? Creativity, because we are in this industry, and creativity is a key important skill for all the designers and creators to have. So how do you think about creativity?
Okay, so it's always interesting to talking about creativity, because I know like everyone have their own perception and their own opinion about what the creativity is. But for me, like creativity is not about only the idea, but you need to able to make it in reality, so people will see what's your idea, what's your innovation, what's going on in your product. So for me, like creativity is not only the idea, but also you need to have a knowledge to make it in reality. So that's how make you a good designer.
Wonderful. How about you, Alice? In the jewelry design field, because we both, we cannot deny that we are all come from fashion background. However, from fashion design to jewelry design, there is still different. What is your opinion?
Actually, I think Angel kind of hit the nail on the head there. Everybody has a different opinion. But what's really interesting to us is that we get a lot of people that come to us and they say, I'm not really all that creative. I'm worried, is such a creative industry something I want to come into? And Angel, if I remember correctly, your background was super non-creative, and now you've made an interesting transition.
I was a tax accountant for 4 years, and I graduated from master degree in international marketing in MDIS, and because of COVID, I tried to explore myself also in a fashion design.
Very interesting.
So people come, they say, I don't know, can I be creative? And for us, I think what's really interesting is that creativity is like a habit. You can practice. You can go through a sequence of steps that are going to help you generate ideas. And then from the ideas comes that sense of creativity and the comfort with being in a creative industry. So it's quite manageable. Alex, what's your opinion on that? Because you've been doing creative things for many years now.
Well, I think creativity really depends on, because I'm a jewelry designer, so I create most of my customers' inspirations or what they think of when they want to don something, when they wear for events. So it's very important for me to understand all my customers, not just what their vision is, but also their background and what do they eat and everything, because all this, it consolidates into their creativity and their design. So it's very important to understand, everyone's thinking and thought, because everyone is different.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alex. And just now I hear from Angel, you talking about creativity, not just about the thinking, it's about the process. So let's go to the deeper of creativity, about creative thinking, because for the industry, in creative industry, when we to stay in the competition, and you always take advantage in the competition, you have to have yourself make your creative thinking, correct? Yeah. So how do you think the creative thinking will help you to generate idea for your product development?
So the creativity, like I mentioned, is also about the knowledge. So if you have an idea, but you don't have a knowledge, so how you make that? And so if you cannot communicate with people what you are thinking, how people will understand? So your idea is forever in your head. It's never become true. So that's why like the creative is so important. Like for me, it's more on the process things. I know like the idea is the beginning step of every product, but the most important for me is a process about the creative, yeah.
Thank you. Alex,
I think when I think of the fashion industry, I think of something that's moving super fast, more than many other industries, and it's quite challenging to keep up with all of the trends. You know, you talk about knowledge.
Yeah.
That's something you need to constantly be looking at, because you can be creative, but you also need to either follow the trends or you need to be able to create new trends.
Yeah.
What's your, between you both, because you're doing it in different areas now, what are your feelings of how you go about identifying trends, and how important are those trends to you guys to either follow or to move against so that you can distinguish yourselves?
Yeah.
You go first?
Me? Okay, so I was remember about the Paris fashion trends in 18th century, 19th century. Like when for example, like the ball gown is in trend, like every girl will use that. If the big hat with feather is in trend, like every girl also will use that. But for now, like it's quite various, like because people think what they wear should represent themselves. They want the self-actualization instead of just following the trends. Of course, like following the trend is, for me, like it's still important, because like there's how the fashion works, but it doesn't mean that it's only following the trend that the fashion will work. You can self-actualize yourself also in fashion.
Alex?
Well, I totally agree with what Angel said. I mean, for jewelry, we also fall into trend, but then again, we're a bit more traditional. So there are people that, they will flip through the magazines and they see what's the most famous celebrity are wearing. So they want me to create something that they will, replicate something like this. But then again, we do have a group of customers who still enjoys, like Queen Elizabeth or like, the old-fashioned kind of jewelry, because they are still in trending even to today. So we need to do a lot of research. We need to understand, So for jewelry, I think it's a bit more different. Yeah.
I kind of get the feeling from that history plays a big part in being able to identify what people are interested in. I think that's kind of a nice connection that you can always make. You can look at something new, but you can also kind of connect it to something that has heritage or that has some distinctive connection to the past.
I totally agree with this. As Coco Chanel always mentioned, trend will be past, but the style will stay. So when the trend becomes a style, then we always around. So now we're talking about the jewelry design. Just now Alex was mentioned, a lot of customer requests for special order, special certain inspired pieces. So they create, they need to have certain kind of artistic competence. So how you communicate with your customer, because you need to convince them, right?
Yes.
So therefore, is how you build this artistic competence from your education from the JDMS and jewelry design background.
Okay, so when I was in JDMS 5 years ago, I used to, they teach us like the history of jewelry back in 10,000 BC and all the way. And back then, when I still think through like why am I still studying all these jewelries, and why we should be focusing on like the future, what's in the future. But like today, when I'm on the ground, when I face customers, all these are really helping me back again. And so then again, when most customers comes in, they don't know what they want. And like you say, how do you know whether the person is creative or not? Most of them, they always feel like, they don't have, because they don't think out of the box, and they just want to be like, I want to copy someone's wearing like J-Lo or someone else, But when you start to draw and design, and when you communicate more with your customers, you start to realize that you are actually, as a designer, you are supposed to bring the creativity out of your customers. And it's not so much about, copying, because if you want to tailor-made a shirt, you don't want to tailor-made a shirt like G2K, you just buy from a retail store. So you want something that's really customized, maybe a piece that is talking about a story about yourself, maybe relating to your family or your pets or anything. So it's how I actually really communicate with my customer, and to bring that creativity out from them, and to let them enjoy the process and make it like a fun one, rather than it's so stagnant. Like, okay, like a jewelry designer, I'm just going to design. I draw 3 designs out and show the customer, and customer is going to choose like, okay, I want this or I want that. Then there's no communication. And it's how you close up the gap and build a relationship with your customer and become like friends. And then when they wear that piece, they want to talk about it, and they feel proud about wearing or donning your piece. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you. How about Angel? How do you feel in what you learn from the school and can enhance your artistic competence?
Well, actually, I agree also with what Alex said. Like, yeah, because like sometimes like the history about the certain trends, maybe like that's the person one, but when people would meet you and want to consult with you, like sometimes like they don't know what they want. So we sometimes like we need to think about, we need to try the test, like, is this work for you? If something like works, okay, then she wants something that maybe like from 19th century or 18th century thing. So it's also like learning history has helped me to identify the customer also.
Do you agree with Alex?
Sure, but you talk about artistic competence. To me, that there's the element that you guys have been talking about, which is talking to a customer, who's trying to get that design, and you're helping them identify the design. But there's another element that's really important, which is knowing how to actually go and produce the design. What does it take? And fashion and jewelry both are very, very skills oriented. You need to kind of know what's possible. Otherwise, you can design something that nobody will be able to make. So I'm kind of curious as to, both of you have done actually hands-on things, and you kind of looked into how the manufacturing process works. So I'm curious how that impacts your plans for presenting a design to a customer.
Oh my God, I remember my lecturer in the accounting because my lecturer in accounting also run his own business, and he said like when customers said something, like the first thing that you need to say is, yes, I can make it. And then back then, like, you think like, okay, how to make it? How
Really?
to make it? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I do also, like in fashion design, and also how I graduate from master degree is like that. Like when my lecturer give some assignment, I say like, okay, yes, I can. Back then, like when I go into my room, I say, okay, how to make this?
Wonderful, because I think that is requires a lot of transferable skill from different background, and that actually bring out the communication skill. Am I right to say that if this is the stage, you communicate your idea with different peoples, and that actually give our privilege, to showcase what you are going to do, what is the direction, and you lead the trend, right? So how do you think? Alex, from the jewelry design, when we talk about communication skill, how do you feel about, in the school perspective, how we train the student the communication skill?
Gosh, well, I mean, part of any person's activity as a designer will involve communicating with customers because you're helping them, identify the things that they want to buy. Communicating with vendors because you're needing to buy the gemstones and identify what it is that you're going to use in your jewelry designs. And then also dealing with the manufacturers, which can be a pretty big challenge in and of itself. I know, Alex, you actually go and talk to customers in Hong Kong at trade shows. You deal with factories that are producing your pieces. Maybe you can give us some insight as to how communication plays a part in your daily life.
Tell us.
All right, so right now because of COVID-19, so there's no way I can travel, but before COVID-19, I travel maybe about 7 to 8 times a year. So I do a lot of exhibition in Hong Kong, in China. So it's really hard for, you have to translate your customer's design, and then you have to find the supplies. So for me, I mainly deal with jade. So we have to go to Burma, we have to find a particular color, we have to find a particular. The thing is, when we buy a raw stone, so it's really hard for us to find because it's hidden in there. So after we purchase the stone, then we have to send back to China where our main factory is, and then that's when we saw it. And so even sawing the piece is not easy because you spend so much money, and when you cut those stones, it's irreversible. So nights you don't sleep because you have to mark and you make sure that when you cut through that, you're gonna get that thick amount of piece of rock. Because if let's say the customer wants 10 mm of jade, like purple jade, and when you cut, you only have 5, it's gone, and okay. It's gonna be so hard for you to explain to the customer, I'm so sorry, I cut wrongly. You can't. So, and then after all these things, when you cut, you send back to Hong Kong where all the fine craftsmanship are. So, and you have to understand the limit of of the materials they use. For example, like gold, you cannot go anything thinner than 2 mm because then the structure doesn't hold, and that's when we use CAD, it's a computer-aided design tool which we use to measure the size of the diamonds and everything. So a lot of things you need to, once you identify this, then you need to check with your supplier, then you need to get all the raw materials, and then it's a tough process.
So interesting. Thank you, Alex. How about you, Angel?
Oh my god, it's also, oh my god, Alex already hit the point.
Communication,
but the communication
right?
is actually you need to understand also what people sometimes understand is about listening to, talking and listening is a communication. It's communication step. So you need to make sure that the person that you are talking to is understand what you want to them to do. And when you dealing with a customer, you need to listen so what customer want. And sometimes customer just say I want this because without the customer know exactly what she wants or what he wants. So you need to listen, you need to understand, you need to sometimes guessing, but not guessing without the direct direction. A guessing but hitting the point.
Agree.
Yeah.
You really paying attention to detail to the piece of work you are doing, the design you are doing, a conversation with people. So actually, am I right to say that is attention to the detail? So how do you think, during study with fashion course, how you find about the training behind about the detail in the school?
The detail for the fashion design, of course, is about the thread, sometimes the thickness of the thread, and also the fabric, what the texture of fabric, the thickness of the fabric, because it depends on your garment. Your garment won't be comfortable to use, but comfortable use also in Singapore or also in Europe is different. Europe is cold, so the comfortable means you need to have a thick material. But in Singapore, when you put a thick material and you say this garment is comfortable, okay, nobody will buy because it's so hard to use. So that's why the detail means you need to really
precise.
Understand. Yeah, precise. You know about your environment as well, and it's not about just like complicated techniques sometimes because like designer love to make sometimes like a complicated things, but sometimes it's too complicated. Like people will not pay you higher to make for you to make that complicated, and sometimes they just want a simple things or whatever.
Wearables.
So yeah, so that's why like the detail is, it needs to be precise actually.
Thank you. How do you do, Mr. Ellis?
Well, jewelry, we deal with really super tiny things.
Exactly.
So we need to pay extra attention to those small things. I guess if you were to ask me, I can give a pro tip to anyone buying jewelry. If you want to tell how much effort went into the jewelry, you go and look sort of underneath in those hard to reach places and look at how well polished they are, and that'll usually give you a tip as to how much attention to detail the jeweler has put into making that piece. But Alex, you actually produce incredible kind of really fine jewelry pieces. So what does attention to detail mean for you?
Well,
Precise things like
you have to be, because okay, sometimes when
Everywhere.
customer, actually it's everything, the whole piece. But I think most of my customer, when they bring back like, you know, the things that they left down by their grandparents, like family heirloom, you know, these are things that you really need to take care of, and you need to know the limitations of each material that you're using. For example, sapphire and diamond and everything, even though they say they are the hardest object, but they're brittle, they can break, and if you break them, how are you going to pay them back, you know? So so most of the time we measure and everything and make sure like all this is expensive or, you know, family heirloom, we always pass it back. And when we do the prototype and when we do the actual piece, like the casing, we have to make sure that it has to fit, because if it doesn't fit, then, you know, when you get back the stone, you can't put it back. And I totally agree what Angel said about practicality also. Like, you can go crazy with your ideas, but in the end of the day, if you can't wear it, you know, can't wear it for long, maybe you just wear it for 10 minutes, you know, like a heavy earrings, you know.
It's pretty
won't work.
challenging,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And that actually, I believe, require desire, because is you have to do so many things and look at so many details in the same time. Without desire, I think that will be very challenging for you to complete the journey. How do you think about desire in the design industry, Alex?
I guess I'm not the right one to ask. You guys are the ones that are waking up in the morning and deciding I want to be a jewelry designer. So I'm curious, what gets you up in the morning, and when you have a tough day, what kind of gets you both through the day and makes you want to stay a designer in fashion and in jewelry? Angel, do you want to let us know your feelings on that?
Okay. Can you show in the screen the Sofitel project?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Why not we take a look this piece of work we did last Chinese New Year. It's a competition with Sofitel Hotel Sentosa, and we have a paper sculpture dress competition, and which represent the 12 zodiac.
Yeah,
This is your work.
mine. Yeah,
I
that's
still remember
mine.
this.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, so the desire, like, of course you
A lot of time involved, yes.
you face a lot of trouble with this. Actually, like, of course, the first that you need to sacrifice is your sleep time. Because you know about that, you need to sacrifice something to get something. Yeah, it really works like that. So I sacrifice my sleep time, and of course I need to wake up early, because even like I join the competition, the class still normal, the assignment still normal. There is no compensation for us. So to finish this work, only 10 days. Like, I know, like I need to have like a strong desire, but the strongest desire for me is about responsibility. So because like all of the diploma students also give their design, but not everyone chosen. So when Sofitel choose my design, I know that it's my responsibility to do it and to finish it. So that's the strongest desire for me to make this.
Very nice. I personally like it very much. Hi, Mr. Ellis. I understand that you teach computer graphic and and 3D jewelry design courses. How do you think about this skill is important for the next generation of the designer?
I mean, the world has changed. We are all doing things digitally now. There's no getting away from it. So I think that for anybody that's working in a creative environment, you're going to have to get to know computer skills. In fashion, perhaps you're looking at software that deals with specialized cutting and maybe presentation techniques. In jewelry, we have specialized software that lets us create 3D models. And what's interesting is, and I think there's probably a lot of parallels with jewelry and fashion, is
Exactly.
that a designer probably isn't only using the computer. They're sketching, they're doing things that are maybe a little bit more classical, but then they also are involving, a digital part of their workflow, because that's just how, the world is moving, and that's how things become more efficient.
I totally agree.
Alex, you're a big computer. You do a lot of stuff on computer-aided design, right?
Well, definitely, because with jewelry right now, you have to paying attention to details, like every size of the diamonds. So with computer right now, it's really helped you and speed things a lot more faster, and you get things much done quicker. Yeah.
Just now I understand that when you're running your own business, you require a lot of travel.
Yes.
So I believe traveling ability is important for designer. Do you agree?
Well, I totally agree, because you need to, when you travel, you don't only think about what you see online. You actually go out there and look at people's racial, like every religion, every different background, every tradition. You start to see you pay attention to the details, to the trends and everything. So the more you travel, the more things you see. Yeah.
I agree. And today we also have two fashion designers here, one from Indonesia, another one from China, and both of you, travel all the way to Singapore, right, to chase your dream in Singapore, correct? So I believe travel ability not only requires traveling skill, also you need to adapt to the culture and the cultural competence, and also you are going to tend to meet different people, and then different culture will inspire you for your next collection, the design idea, right? So we are very happy today with having our alumni, Yibao, with us today. Thank you, Yibao, for joining us this morning session. I know you are very busy, and after graduate, you finally joined the industry, and it's totally different. Yeah, could you share with us, because 2020, everybody knows is not an easy year for the young talent to find a job and to find a space in the market. So congratulations, you finally get a job, within 3 months. And you are foreign talent. So could you share with us, maybe some people in front of the camera, what is your experience, what you've gone through, and maybe any advice you could give to, us? Yeah,
Yes, just don't give up, because it's very hard to find a job when I graduate. But I just don't give up and apply many design jobs.
How many?
I think almost 100.
100?
For real. Yes, for real. And I have many interviews, and also
How many?
Everything.
16. Yes,
16.
for really, yes. Every day I go outside to interview, and the things they ask.
Every day.
Yeah, every day. Every day I have 3 interview, almost the minimum.
Minimum.
Yes, I always go outside, online or offline, and I talking to them, and I show, I am very confident, and I love design things, creative things. They just, maybe we can try to interview you and talking with me like this.
So you was with us since the diploma to higher diploma, and I understand you graduate from our university degree fashion in textile design program. And during this study journey, what are the most important project, you can remember in your, memory?
Yes, my graduate assignment, because I need to change my theme. The time is not enough me to change. It's very urgent things, but my teacher is very patient to help me. Also, my teammate, my classmate to help me. We work really like a team. So then I successful to finish my work and graduate.
I have a quick question. So you were very aggressively looking for job opportunities, and
Yes.
congratulations on finding one so quickly in such a difficult environment. But how did when you went to talk to your employers, how did you show them what you were capable of? Did you already have a portfolio? Did you show them what you had at school, what you'd done at school? What was your process there?
Yes, I'm showing them my portfolio, and I just tell them because I'm learning from the school is the action skills. Like because we have an idea, we need to do it. So if I have a job, so I need to do it and have a time development manager like this.
You know what? Today I invite you to this morning session. Partly is, we want to celebrate with you. You finally got your job. I totally understand it's not an easy journey for you. And the reason why also because we received a couple of email from those companies where you went for interview. They are all from the HR department. Although you are not able to get the position, they're sending us emails saying that they appreciate your presentation. They really hope they have a chance to work with you in the future because due to certain quota restriction, but they really honor your achievement and your quality of work. And I'm very happy and proud to receive the email, but I didn't tell you in the first place. Yeah, correct. Congratulations. So that actually gives us the silver lining to see, there is always a bright future. Actually, for the creative industry in Singapore is growing, and for a lot of people who interested in fashion design or jewelry design. And today is a chance, and today is a great opportunity for you to follow our website, our contact our hotline. We are very happy here to give you a support. Yeah. So Alex, maybe you can also share about the next intake for the jewelry design course.
Sure. So we do two kinds of programs with MDIS. We have a program on fine jewelry design, which is for people that want to draw on paper, draw with a computer, get to know about gemstones, get to know about trends, and be able to produce beautiful pieces of jewelry by working with factories and working with experts. Alex is actually a graduate of that program and has been putting those skills to use in amazing ways.
He's from jewelry design or
jewelry design.
Pressure metal. Jewelry
Yes.
design.
Jewelry.
Okay.
So that's one option. The jewelry design program is very popular, very interesting for people that want to work with jewelry companies that need designers, work directly with perhaps the customers that want to have customized designs. And there's another track that's really interesting, which is the precious metal arts track, which is if you want to produce something yourself, you want to use your own hands to hammer and saw and produce. I know Angel's been going through those programs as well. So that's a lot of fun because you can really kind of get your hands dirty and you get the creative
The energy.
Yeah.
I saw my hands one time.
Uh-oh.
You know it, you know. But it's okay. Like it. I mean, like because I use a wrong technique. So thank you. Like for Tanya. Tanya is my teacher in a precious metal art. Like she tell me the proper way to sew it. Like when you just cut, like you will cut your hand, of course. So. Thank you about mentioning me.
How's your finger now?
It's fine. It's totally fine. It's still two
For now. Uh-oh. Yeah, so both of those skills, right? One of them is much more hands-on where you kind of produce stuff, and one of them is a little more conceptual, where you come up with ideas and work with different types of people to make those happen. So those are the two programs we have upcoming. But I know that fashion also has different paths and interesting.
Yes, of course. The coming April, we were going to have an International Foundation Diploma for fashion design and marketing, and that actually to give the junior students, young designer, a very good platform for them to progress to the higher level of design skill, and then we offer production skill, computers technique, and also the school now we teaching Brownsware, which is a 3D animation design software, which very well helps the designer to cut down their lead time and have a better presentation skill with animation and rendering with the presentation portfolio. So actually, those are the latest curriculum we are adding in for the new intake. So please contact us if you are interested in fashion design and both in fashion jewelry design and precious metal art course. Do contact us. And for jewelry design and precious metal art students, they also have a very good opportunity to progress to our Sunderland University of Sunderland product and promotion program, which is only 9 months top-up degree. So they actually complete, a comprehensive, wonderful, full session of from diploma, advanced diploma to degree. I think that is actually a very good opportunity for a lot of young talent. Yeah.
Actually, that was something that, to me, seemed like a very good synergy. When I think about the Management Development Institute of Singapore, I don't think about a creative school. But what's really important with any creative field is that you really are going to be kind of playing many roles. I think you're never going to be just doing one thing. Nobody comes to us to say, I want to work in a factory, I want to know how to sew, or I want to know how to solder or saw. They want to do everything. They want to talk to a customer, they want to get involved with the sourcing, they want to be involved in all of those aspects. And the business side of things, when you talk about marketing, the fact that you've always got a marketing component all the way through your programs, the fact that the conclusion that involves projects where you're not just doing the technical skill, but you're also being involved in a much wider range of business skills.
Correct.
That you really need to master. Alex, you could probably give us some ideas of how important those aspects are to your surviving as a jeweler.
Well, right now everyone's on their phone every day, so you have to think of always something creative to engage the customers, even new future customers, because you never know, everyone will be on their phone and they can share with their friends. So you need to think of new, inspiring, fun, engaging ways to just capture.
Same as fashion design program here, we have a university partner from Teesside University from UK. We offer fashion communication and promotion program, which they have a module such as digital marketing and social enterprise, and a lot of visual communication skill set here. I think probably for a lot of students can consider. You do need a fundamental marketing skill training, but in this world, people are very visual, driven, and the visual communication means you can direct a creative director for images, for your advertising images, some advertising video progress. So this will give you additional skill set. We call it transferable skill in different organization. So thank you so much for the wonderful morning with us. Yeah, thank you, Alice. Thank you, Alice Wong. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Yipao. So let's pray for the better year for 2021. And thank you so much to join us with this morning session. Alice, anything?
Oh, say goodbye to people. We're looking forward to having you all join us. It's an exciting creative industry. There are lots of options for you if you're interested to get into fashion or jewelry. And this is a fantastic place for you to explore how that world will transform what it is that you have in mind and what your future will be.
Amazing. Hope to see you soon, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.